The sky turns white, not bright, white. The shadows vanish. You blink. You wait for the sound. You are wasting time. You are already dying. You just don't know it yet. The lights flicker once, then they go out. You check the breaker box. It is dead. You check your phone. No signal. You think it is temporary. You are wrong. This is the first hour of World War III. This is the timeline where 90% of the population becomes a statistic, not because of the weapon, but because of their own instincts. This is not a drill. Let us decode the chaos. The first 60 minutes after a nuclear alert are the most dangerous hour of your life. It is a razor-thin line between survival and becoming collateral damage. Most casualties in this golden hour do not come from the fireball. They come from misinformation and fatal behavioral errors. We are going to break down the 6 critical survival strategies that civilians are rarely told, adapted from military protocol for the urban environment. Let us start with the psychology of denial. Your brain is wired to seek safety in depth. When the sky falls, your instinct screams at you to go underground. You want to run to the basement. Listen to me closely. The basement is a trap. This is a matter of engineering versus instinct. In a modern residential home, the basement is often the deadliest place you can be. The foundation walls are usually thin concrete, barely 10 centimeters thick. The windows are at ground level, perfect funnels for heavy radioactive dust, and there is usually only one way out. If the house above you collapses from the shockwave, you are not in a bunker, you are in a tomb. You will be buried alive or trapped in a concrete box while heavy gases and fallout drift in through the cracks. You do not need depth. You need mass. You need a buffer. You need to put as much physical matter between you and the outside world as possible. If you are in a multi-story building, find a room deep in the core, like a hallway, a bathroom, or a closet. Stay on the middle floors. If you are in a house, stay on the ground floor, in the absolute center, as far away from the exterior walls as you can get. Once you are there, you build a fortress. Strip the beds, grab the books, flip the tables. You stack furniture and mattresses against the walls to artificially thicken your shield. You are building a catch mask for radiation. Every inch of paper and fabric absorbs energy that would otherwise tear apart your DNA. Now let us talk about the second killer. The window. In a disaster, human curiosity is a suicide reflex. You see the flash. Your instinct is to walk to the glass and look at the mushroom cloud. If you do this, you are dead. Light travels faster than sound. The flash is the warning. The shockwave is the executioner. It arrives about 3 seconds later, depending on your distance. This is not like the movies. Windows do not just break, they liquefy. The pressure wave turns that glass into a wall of invisible knives moving at the speed of a bullet. It blasts inward, shredding everything in the room. If you see the flash, you have zero time to think. Turn away. Drop to the floor immediately. Do not look at it. The thermal pulse alone can blind you and ignite upholstery from miles away. Get behind something solid, a heavy desk or a concrete partition, and stay below the window line. And here is the part nobody tells you. You stay down. You do not get up after the boom. You wait at least 30 seconds. Physics dictates that after the high-pressure wave pushes out, a vacuum effect follows, sucking debris back out. If you stand up too early, you get flayed by the reverse flow. While you are on the floor, you will feel the urge to reach for your pocket, your phone. This is the third point of failure. The smartphone is the greatest deception device in a survival scenario. You check it, nothing. You check it again. You try to call your spouse. You try to check social media. This is the normalcy bias kicking in. You are desperate for someone to tell you that everything is okay, but the towers are overloaded or fried by the electromagnetic pulse. Social media, if it loads, will be a factory of panic and fake safety alerts. Every second you spend staring at that black screen is a second you are not securing your perimeter. In the first hour, you cannot save anyone who is not within arm's reach. That is a hard truth, but you must swallow it. Turn the phone off, completely off. Save the battery. You will need it later for a light source or offline maps. The only electronics you should touch is a battery-powered radio. Scan for emergency frequencies for exactly 2 minutes. Write down the intel, then shut it down. Information is life, but obsession is death. Now we move to the anatomy of the collapse. The immediate threat has passed, and you think the danger is over. You want to run outside. You want to check on the neighbors. This brings us to the fourth concept, the death zone. The explosion is not the mass killer. The fallout is. Fallout is pulverized earth and debris, irradiated and sucked into the atmosphere. It is heavy. Gravity wants it back. Depending on the wind and your distance, it takes between 15 and 45 minutes for that deadly sand to start raining down. This is your window of opportunity, and it is closing fast. If you run outside during this window, you are walking into a radioactive blizzard. You must seal the breach. As soon as the shockwave passes, you grab duct tape, towels, and plastic. You seal every crack, the gap under the front door, the vents, the window frames. You are creating a positive pressure environment, or at least a neutral one. You stay inside that sealed room for a minimum of 2 hours. The intensity of radiation drops rapidly over time. Staying inside during those first few hours reduces your radiation exposure by 90%. Patience is a tactical weapon. While you are waiting, you have one final logistical task. Water. This is the fifth strategy, the rule of 10 minutes. You can survive 3 weeks without food. You will die in 3 days without water. In a grid-down scenario, the municipal water pumps run on electricity. When the grid dies, the pumps die. You have only the residual pressure left in the gravity tanks and the pipes. That gives you maybe 10 to 20 minutes of flow before the taps run dry. Do not sit there shaking in shock. Run the taps, fill the bathtub, fill the sinks, fill every pot, bucket, and bottle you own. This is not just for drinking. This is for hygiene, for cooling burns, and for washing fallout off your skin. This is your only supply. Once the pressure drops, the system creates a backflow. The pipes could suck in sewage or groundwater toxins. If the water coming out of the tap turns brown or smells like chemicals, stop immediately. But until then, you hoard every drop. Finally, we must address the exception. We deal in rules, but survival requires flexibility. There is only one scenario where you break protocol and leave your shelter during the fallout rain. That scenario is structural failure. If the building is on fire, if you smell gas, or if the walls are buckling, the risk of immediate death outweighs the risk of radiation. You have to move. But you do not just run. You tactically evacuate. You filter your air. Cover your nose and mouth with multiple layers of damp cloth. A wet t-shirt or a thick towel acts as a primitive filter for radioactive particles. Cover your skin. Long sleeves, gloves, hoods. Fallout is a surface contaminant. You do not want it touching you. And you move differently. Do not run. Running increases your heart rate. It makes you breathe deeper, pulling particles further into your lungs. You walk fast. You keep your head down. You head for the nearest concrete structure that is still standing. When you reach the new shelter, you strip. The outer layer of your clothing is now toxic waste. Take it off before you enter the safe zone. Wash your hands and face, but be gentle. Do not scrub. Scrubbing opens the pores and drives the radiation into your blood. Pat it dry. Survival is not about having a bunker full of guns. It is about suppressing the urge to act normal when the world has gone mad. It is about understanding the physics of the collapse and moving faster than the crowd. The system is fragile, the grid is brittle. The only thing that is durable is your mindset. Stay hidden, stay ready,